are Metasource Games. I'm Robert Trusardi.
And I'm Joshua Aridhol Cantrell. We believe in scarcity-based gaming and the power of player ownership.
We are a small team focused on becoming #1 in blockchain and metaverse gaming. So get ready and take a ride with us through the Metasource. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Through the Metasource, Episode 7. We have the Courthouse Raffle from the event that we just completed, where everybody crafted, what was it, almost 2,500? Well, it was about 3,000 shares worth of Royal Courthouse bounties. So that is super awesome. Thank you for joining us today. I am Robert Trusardi, and this is Joshua Aridhol Cantrell, my full partner in the business. So welcome, everybody.
Howdy, everybody. I made it out of the dungeon, as you can see, and I'm here in the Arcane Stronghold instead, just doing a little research for our upcoming expansion, right?
Yeah, research is probably an understatement, but more like he's in the alchemy lab there, and he's cooking things up. So good to see Christian G, Victor, Lopez, our partner at Apex NFT, and Cockfine Tech, David Istanbul, Warriorline Gaming, Vishji, Savand, Mark777, Barath Gaming Engineering, Debbie Metal, our community support manager, Double L, CR24PY, K Peters, Von Condor, CR2, I think that's supposed to be creepy. I'm not sure. I think that's how you say his name. There's Fuzzy Super Pie, one of our moderators. Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. So we are going to do it basically the same way that we've done the raffles the last time, which is we are going to basically show you guys a list, and I think we might have already posted the list already, but then we will randomize the list. So only the top 1,000 people will then get into the marble game to win the pass, because Marble will only fit about 1,000 players inside its list. So there will be an elimination round, and you guys will be able to see that. But as usual, we also like to talk a little bit about what's happening with Metasource Games and Castles. And then we also usually do a little bit of a Q&A at the end of the episode. So I think for minor announcements here at the beginning, why don't we tell them about Digicon? Would be a good little thing to bring up and start out with.
That's very exciting. Yeah, we've been holding out on you. We are going to be attending and hosting a very large booth in this month's Digicon. That is Digicon 9. It is hosted by Splinterlands. There's a whole ton of other blockchain games, including Gala Games, a bunch of representatives from Wax, 6 p.m., the guys who make Honeycomb, Atomic Hub, Nifty Blocks, all the coolest people are going to be there. And so, of course, that includes us. We're going to have a nice big booth. And we might even, I can't guarantee this, but we might even have a spot on their live stream. They're having some scheduling issues with a couple other of their speakers, and we volunteered to take their place if they can't do it. It would just be a short segment on the live stream, but we're going to see about that. If we don't get it this time, we'll definitely get it next time. But we will definitely be there with our booth. We'll show off some cool things, some new sneak peek art, and we'll just have a generally awesome time. We can all jump in. It's totally free to attend the con. There will be some rewards, some perks, and hopefully we'll just we'll enjoy it. We'll goof off, and we'll take over the whole event, right? I mean, we'll just we'll pile in there, and it'll basically be a Metasource Games event, right? We'll just overtake everything. We'll just fill the place up. And it'll be a great old time. We'll have links and official announcements and everything for that in the Discord here in just a little bit.
I love how you just escalated it into a raid.
Raid. Yes. It is, just in case you don't know what it is. Oh, there you go. It is on Gamerjibe. which means that it is digital. It is totally free. You get to come in and make yourself a little avatar and run around and chat and play little mini games like mini golf and fishing and other silly things that you can do that are pretty entertaining. Walk around, talk to different people, sit around campfires. You can even roast marshmallows. And if you hold them over the fire for too long, they will catch fire and you can run around with your flaming marshmallow. Absolutely. And I anticipate that happening quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. You'll be able to play the trailer in there. There'll be a little slideshow and links. So this is just a little preview of what the booth looks like inside of the virtual Digicon. So I don't think they have to pay anything to join Digicon, right? It's
no,
free.
They don't. Yeah, it's free for general attendance. Yeah, you guys just sign up on the website. Basically, it's very easy to create an account if you haven't done it before. You can sign in with Google, Discord, or Facebook, I think. So it's super, super simple. And like I said, we'll have all the links for you. We'll post them in Discord. So you don't have to go hunting for them.
Yeah. And I think we'll probably do like a stream or something too during the event and just kind of hang out with you guys. We'll find some really great interactive way to interact with you guys during Digicon.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is happening on...
It's... the 27th, 28th, and 29th. It's not basically the event will be open all the time. We won't physically be online the entire time through there, but we'll have a little NPC and a booth that you can go and check out even when we're not online. And if we Robert's headset came loose, if we have if we're, while we're going to physically be there, we will make sure that all the information is posted. And there will be, if we're not a part of the main live stream, we will have a sub event that will be announced to everyone in the space. So you'll definitely have some time that you can sit and talk with us and goof off and ask questions and see some cool things. And we will have some swag. So just for attending, there will be a little bit of swag for everybody involved.
Nice. And yeah, thank you, Josh, for making that happen and very quickly too. Before I knew it, Josh had the booth set up and everything and had talked to the guys and I'm like, this is great. I love it. And so in minor news, crypto just like took a major crash. All the markets took a major crash and we're just here building the game, just going along and making the game awesome, which actually let me share a next preview of so I think I have it open in Photoshop. So let's go here, get start sharing, and then share screen again.
On this screen, you can see the green screen doesn't quite fit.
So this is something we shared inside of the Discord. This is basically like an early mock-up of what the dungeoning loadout is going to look like. So this is something I threw together for our actual UI artist to start to go through and make something real. But the general idea is down here at the bottom, you'll be able to switch between your heroes that you have. And, when I think about it now, probably want to put a thing here for what type of hero icon, like probably the Spellbinder, the Knight, or the Thief. But you'll be able to select between the commonalities. You'll be able to give them a nickname. And then you'll be able to select between all of the 11 different unique, what do we call them, slots here for the items. So you'll be able to change their headpiece, their shirt, legs, feet, weapon 1, weapon 2. See here, this is weapon 1, this is weapon 2. The back, you can see is her cloak. The neck, you can see is, there doesn't look like she has a neck thing on here, actually, like at least not one that you can see, but it would normally be like a necklace or something. And then a belt, so this would be her belt. And the accessory is actually like this pouch here that's on her. And then the base, which is this. You're able to switch all those out. The base will be the only one that doesn't have like a stamina attribute to it. But basically for each rarity, you're going to have a stamina bonus. And as you get higher up in the rarities, your stamina bonus is going to get higher. And you'll be able to cycle through the colors. There'll be 2 different colors. So there'll be just an incredible amount of variations of customization that you can do with your hero. And a little selector here for rarity of like equipment you want to use. So we haven't talked much about the sigils yet, but we basically have a sigil system. And the whole purpose of the sigils is that if there's kind of like we're thinking there are different levers that you might want to pull in terms of the loot that you get. Basically, if you wanted to add like a crafting profession, how does this crafting profession give you kind of an edge in the game as you start to play? And what is that edge in particular? So with the potions, we're thinking the edge is basically in stamina. As you play with the potion sigil equipped, you'll be able to basically get these fragments for defeating monsters, and you'll be able to exchange those for like potion fragments. So it's probably going to be like a 2 or 3 tiered system where basically you equip the sigil, and then you fight monsters with the sigil. As you fight, or rather, as you win against those monsters and you defeat those monsters, you then get these points, and those points can convert into fragments to basically to start crafting things. So the potions sigil will be all about making you the potions. There are some other ones that we're kind of spitballing about what they might be. I'm just give you a preview. The other one we think is going to be related to the dungeon tomes, and essentially, allowing you the ability to get more monsters for your buck. And so I think I'm probably going to request that we do this 2 different ways. I haven't necessarily talked to Josh about it yet, but I think we might do 2 proposals. One is either it's going to be, when you have one of these consumable fragments, and here's the thing, is like potions are consumables, right? So when you craft the monster packs, there might be a consumable that either reduces its cost to craft, or it has a chance to give you like a bonus monster or bonus monster pack. I think I might leave it up to the community to decide which one it is, if it's a bonus monster pack, or just a reduction in resource cost. And we might just leave that up to you guys, what you guys think is more fun. But that is kind of how the sigils work out. So the idea is, so I'm going out to fight with heroes. Do I want more stamina? Do I want more monsters from my monster pack crafting? Do I want higher level monsters? We might, we think we're probably going to have a sigil for that. Like, if you say you have a legendary hero and it's kind of a little difficult for you to get these legendary monsters to fight, we might put in kind of a system that makes it a little bit easier for you to get those legendary monsters, or at least rather there are, but if you can see what I'm saying, which is basically with the sigils, the fragments that you get from the sigils is really dependent on the amount of players playing the game and what sigils they have equipped. And I think the sigils are probably going to be linked to, or rather you get a sigil from playing the game. We haven't gone too much yet into like, where do you get a sigil? Is it a drop? I kind of like the idea of having you guys find them in treasure chests, but it's something Josh and I still need to discuss. But do you have any extra thoughts on that, Josh?
Yeah, I think the in RPG terms, if you're a big ARPG kind of person, this is the term that's often used is deterministic loot, right? So you have a little bit of player agency over what kind of loot you're targeting. Now, not exactly, you're not going to have full control over what kind of loot you want, but by equipping a particular sigil, you will have a little bit of control to fine tune your personal rewards. So it's a fun little thing that we added on. I think that it'll be fun. I think you guys are going to like it, and we will definitely be taking feedback and refining as we go for sure.
Awesome. So before we start answering questions, let's just go ahead, jump into the game, and then we'll do a little Q&A after the game. So should I first show everybody the list, and then you're going to do the randomization, right? We got
Yes.
what, 2,300 on here. All right, so let me.
Yeah. So go ahead and pull it up, and then I'll randomize it while everybody's looking at it, and then we'll cut it down to 1,000, and we'll play marbles.
Okay. Oh, were you? Oh, did you want to share something? Because I got a thing that you have up that says share.
I've got it ready for whenever we want to share it. If we want to do it now or you want to do it after, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to show
let's do it
a
after
concept.
the game because we're already like starting to go down that path.
Let's do it.
But there is something else that Josh wants to show before we do the Q&A. So let's go ahead and move this for now.
Okay. So just in case you were wondering, in Discord, the raffle ticket list is available. So if you want to pull it up and look at it yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. But we are also going to share it on the stream here in just a second. Once Robert is ready to go on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to switch my windows over because I'm going to do this and instead I think it's. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So you guys can see, anybody can see it on Robert's screen, or you can get the link on Discord yourself. You can scroll down to the bottom. You can see there are 2,379 ticket holders. That is exactly equal to the amount of packs that were crafted. So congratulations to everyone there. The list is already randomized once, so it's in no particular order. And right now, I will take the list. You see it starts with xhwey.wham. And we are going to column action randomize. Okay, and now we have fuzzywax.gm at number 1, so it has been randomized. You can see that. I assume that Fuzzy Super Pie is all excited that he's up at the top of the list. That does not guarantee that you have won, but it does at least mean you're on the list. All right, so now we will see the number 1,001 through 2,379 gone. All right, so now we have just a top 1,000, and this top 1,000, as with the last couple of weeks, we are going to play marbles.
Right, I think it's a CSV is what I export. Let me go ahead and open up the marbles. Dun, dun.
We do have a lot less total tickets this time around. With Lumberjacks, it was over 10,000. With Carpenters, over 5,000. But now here with this this bounty, it was only just under 2,400. So each ticket, by extension, has better odds. So hopefully, if you haven't had good luck up until this point, this will be your lucky time. But RNG is what it is. We'll see how it goes. I expect the next crafting event to probably have even less tickets, so that'll be pretty interesting. It definitely won't have less rewards.
So, right, so it does take CSV files. All right, let's export this as a CSV. There we go. Now let's go ahead and share window here. Feels good to do a stream again. Feels like you and I haven't done a stream with everybody in a while. I guess it's been a little over over tweaks, maybe something like that. Let's see. All right, there we go. You guys should now be looking at the game there. Cool. Yeah, showing up on my screen. So I already imported the list. See Fuzzy Wax here's at the top. Should all be in that same alphabetical order there.
Yep, looks right.
Cool. So I think I hit then finish. And then let's just make sure that it's got the right list. Yeah, cool. All right, now we're just going to pick a map. I liked that that factory one is pretty cool. Twisted Teeth. The factory. I liked the factory. I think there was another one like the factory. What was it?
If anybody has feedback or votes, please feel free to throw names of the maps that you like.
Yeah, I think all these maps are not necessarily made equal. I think there was one. I thought there was another one like Castle Siege we did, but that one I don't think we liked too much.
It wasn't that exciting. To answer the quick question from Boz Oss, we took the list of 24. What was it? No, 2397, something like that. If I'm remembering right, we randomized it and we took only the top 1,000. So no, it is just exactly 1,000. That is the maximum number of players that you can import into Marbles. So we randomized the list first to get the 1,000, and now we're putting them into the game.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the factory again because I like factories. I can't help myself.
Little satisfactory Factorio kind of a fantasy going on here.
Yeah, I just can't help myself. It's more of like an actual like Tesla SpaceX factory, but this is as close as I can get. So, all right. So we have all our contestants. Crypto AI says, "What's up, everyone? Good to see you. Glad to see you, Zubaz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's do it. Let's start the race." And they're off. Going down into the giant pachinko machine here. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Oh, Toy Store was on top for a second there.
I think this guy is number one.
Oh, yeah. Now we've got YK32AC. You can do it. We believe in you.
Looks so familiar. I think this guy was another front runner in some other game.
Oh, Toy Store. There he is back again. Oh, no, he's gone.
Look at everybody. Everyone's just piling in here. Piling in.
Ooh, R3Z2K. Oh, never mind. Marbles is so chaotic. I love it.
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, look. YK. Oh, R3Z2K. And he was back in the lead, and now he's
like red light stop, green light go.
Yeah. C11K4.C.Wham. You have the lead, and you've lost it. So much chaos.
Oh, wow.
All I can do is look at the name of the people in the top 10 and just hope for the best.
Oh, they're making their escape here.
Toy Store
Onto the conveyor belts. Oh my gosh, this guy! Oh, that guy was all at the end. He had one that was all the way at the last of
X2CB4.Wham.
Oh no! There go. Oh, Toy Store made it.
I think that might be Krisnit's account.
There's you.
Oh, look, I'm number 3. Woo!
Are you? Oh, yeah, there's another 7. You right there.
Oh, fuzzywax.gm at 10th. Maybe it is good to be number 1.
And number 1's going to get a little special bonus, right?
Sure.
He says that every time. He's like, "Well, I guess if we have to."
If you make me.
Oh! I think. Oh, what just happened? Where's the winner? Somebody gonna? Oh, there he is! Boom! It was X2CB4, which I'm pretty sure that guy was last on the list there.
Wow,
I made
Fuzzy
it into
Wax
the
was in
top
10th
7.
and jumped all the way to number 2. Leapfrogged.
You
2
were
UNFR. X2CB4 actually has 3 in the top 10. Dang.
Oh. I don't even know whose wallet that is. I guess I must
PCK.
know.
I think it's Krisnitz. His is something similar to that. I think it might be
That
him.
makes sense.
Which would make sense because he was the number 1 overall crafter. So it would make sense.
That's karma right there.
Hey, eventually
karma
it's gotta work out eventually, right? That's the idea, at least. All right, we're waiting for the stragglers to finish. It will auto finish and put you in the position that you're already in currently at 15 more seconds, and it'll end. Looks like.
Yeah, the fire is coming through here. Basically, the fire of death. If your piece doesn't make it in, it's just going to come and get you.
Yeah, it fills. If your marble's destroyed, it puts you down at the bottom and fills up while the top fills down.
Winner X2CB4.
Winner.
Results.
Woohoo!
And copy to clipboard.
And paste that into the B column if you can. That would be awesome.
B column.
And then we'll just do a quick little verification that it is correct once it's pasted in there. There we go.
It's not. Oh, you know why? It's because I'm looking in the under the wrong window. There we go.
Aha, there we go. Okay, so hit close on the marbles. Let me just glance at the top few again to make sure, but it looks right to me. Fuzzy was in second. Yeah, top. Yep. Okay, yeah, looks good. Looks right. But these are all the same people that we saw. So everybody who's got that list, you can see what we have. We have this time there is actually slightly more prizes as well. Because we did include mints 1, 2, and 3 of both the high and low bounty. So both of those top 3 mints are included. So the last couple of raffles have been 389 winners. This one has 392 winners. So starting at 393 down through 1,000. So sad. You're gone. So now you can see B column, persons 1 through 392 are all set, and these are winners. And I will highlight these right now. Like gold hue. And there you go. So there's our top positions. Exciting for everybody. I will work on getting those sent out. They'll be sent out within the day, probably within the next couple hours. But just just in case we have any technical difficulties, the packs have all been made and packed. It's just they have to be distributed, right? So and I'll throw out the bonus for first place as well. And congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, David Istanbul says he got 2 prizes this time after 2 epic fails in the previous raffles. And Zubaz says that he's still 0 for 3. Sorry to hear that, Zubaz. All right, so let's move on to Josh wanted to give a little sneak preview of some art, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So let me go back into my windows here and gonna stop sharing my screen and start sharing the screen here.
Yeah, so this is one of our higher tier armors for Kaldor. This is one of his mythic sets, actually. It's work in progress. It's not quite finished. There's some little bit of shading work still to be done. If you recognize the base hasn't been done yet. So there's a few things still to fix, but it's shaping up quite nicely. We've been showing off kind of lower tier armor. I figured it'd be fun to give you guys a taste of one of the high tier armors that we have fairly close to being done. So this is his kind of a Dawn Warrior style armor with the kind of the glowing sun imagery on there with a pretty sweet yellow glow coming off of his eyes, off of his cloak, his helmet. Should be pretty awesome when this is all the way finished. And of course, like all the armors in the game, it does have color variations. So there's this particular set also has variations that as the mythic ones, they're going to be kind of the most extreme, right? So since it's kind of sun themed, his variations here are themed around stars of different colors, right? So he has a blue star version that glows blue, and also a red star version with more of a red glow to it. It looks pretty sinister, actually. It's quite awesome. So this one's very holy and righteous looking. The red tinted version is kind of dark and scary, and it's pretty cool. So I think everybody's going to enjoy these when they come out. And remember, these pieces are mix and match, so you will be able to make some really interesting suits of armor when you have your hands on these. We're really excited to see what you guys can come up with. I think we might even in the future maybe we'll have some fun events where you decorate your hero as cool as you can possibly make it, and share screenshots, things like that. I think we'll have a lot of fun with events like that here in the future.
Debbie Metal says, shout out to the player feedback survey in the announcements. That's a good reminder. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, so we now have a feedback survey in the announcements of the Discord. And so we're preparing some marketing materials and stuff like that. And we wanted to hear what people's thoughts are on Castles, the NFT game, and how we're doing, and the team. So yeah, if you go put that in there, thank you very much. And we appreciate the feedback. Find that in the announcements in Discord. So are we ready to move on to the Q&A section?
Yeah, I think so. I'll also throw out, as we get that direction, a shout out to the Metasource raffle. We have I think almost everybody probably is well aware. We did a Metasource raffle as well, which we'll do results for on Friday. That raffle is entirely through Metasource. It's kind of a little hoorah that we have Metasource officially listed on Nifty Blocks as a drop currency. So we are throwing out that fun little use case for Metasource. You can pay it entirely in Metasource, and that is entirely that goes into the game wallet. So it does not get back into circulation. We never sell that Metasource. So that is a raffle purely for your guys' benefit. You're welcome to participate or not, depending on your personal preference. But so far, already 40 million Metasource has been removed from circulation through those first two drops. The next drop, let's see, what time is it right now? I believe the next and final drop for that raffle happens in about 1.5 hours. Just under 1.5 hours. So we scheduled those drops in 3 different times so that different time zones would have the opportunity to take advantage. You're welcome to have tickets from any of those drops. It doesn't matter. They're all in the same pool, but we just wanted to make sure nobody was left out based on their work schedule, sleep schedule, etc.
Awesome. We also get questions now, which is good. Before we answer those, also wanted to say that we have brought on board a marketing coordinator for part-time. So they're starting to work with Josh, and we're pretty excited for how that's going to work out. We've been wanting to hire someone specifically under the marketing team for a while, and the better the game does, the more we want to scale up our marketing team. So that's pretty exciting. So now we're going to have more partnership in creating partners and getting the word out about Castles. We're looking at the possibility of doing like YouTube ads and stuff like that, and targeting people who want to do cryptos and NFTs and games. All right, so there was one particular question that I saw from Crypto AI here that I thought was pretty interesting. He says, will there be any kind of stat bonus for having a certain number of items of the same set colors? I want to kind of tackle my thoughts on this first. Josh might have different thoughts, but my thought is that what I like about our system is the self-expression, being able to. I think that's when you die in
Pac-Man just died.
Right?
Yeah. Died.
Pac-Man my disagrees. Video games. So you know, kind of the whole point of letting you mix and match your armors and having the color variations and stuff is you've been able to express yourself in the way you want to. So the only thing I don't like about having you have a full set of something is that then you're pigeonholed into having to have that set. And then if you like your character to instead have like a certain headdress or a certain pair of pants or skirt or something, well, then you're penalized for not being able to have that because you have to have your set. So I know it's kind of a big thing, World of Warcraft having like, you know, set buffs and things like that. But we think what kind of makes this particular thing unique is you don't see many things like this in blockchain gaming right now, where you get to really just get to customize your character and express yourself. So I kind of value that. I value being able to select your armor sets and your colors and what you want there, and express yourself freely as a character creation. And then in terms of the mechanics, you're only limited by rarity. You know, and that's you know, you don't be penalized if you use like an old pair of, you know, common pair of pants like a legendary hero. Well, then, you know, there probably would be other types of pants available to you as being a legendary hero. But anyways, that's really my thoughts on it. What about you, Josh? You feel one way or the other?
No, I agree with you completely on that. Set bonuses are really a very cool thing. But in this case, probably we're really more focused on your creative expression. We want to see you be really creative, really. I mean, we want to see you mix things that we wouldn't have thought to mix, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole point of having the color variations and the different styles. We want you to have a crazy amount of freedom of expression. And the amount of variations, I haven't done the full math. I should at some point do the full math, but it's an insane amount of variations. If you consider how many different pieces we have, there's going to be over 1,000 different equipment NFTs. Okay, over 1,000 easily, and then each one of those, you won't have to collect certain colors. Each one like comes in built with 3 color options. Okay, so it doesn't multiply that by 3 NFTs, but it does multiply by 3 in the appearances in game. So, you know, that's 3,000 different pieces. Start doing the math on how many combinations that could be. I mean, we're talking millions, absolutely millions of combinations. It's absolutely entirely possible for every player in the game. You know, even if we 100x the amount of players that we have right now, it's totally possible and even likely that every single person can have a completely unique look to their character that is 100% yours, unique to you. It wouldn't be unusual at all, in fact, because there's that many choices. We think that is awesome. It's something that's just totally unheard of in blockchain right now. It's going to be totally unique. It's going to be totally cool. And we can't wait to see the crazy stuff that you guys come up with.
Whoops. So yeah, pretty not a lot of questions. No questions, guys. Questions about dungeons, what we talked about, sigils, that kind of thing. Finally, smile at at Rob's face. Do I not smile? You're I on the video. I kind of see you're like inside a dungeon,
Yeah, it's Dungeonception in here. Yeah,
Hurts my brain a little
I
bit.
have my other dungeon background people. It kind of blends a little better. See if you look at that one. Yeah. It blends a little better. You know.
This, yeah, the colors quite aren't as vibrant. Oh man.
Yeah.
So we are in the Q&A section. I guess people just don't have any questions.
Everybody's happy. Feel free also to give us, if you have any random thoughts about how the game's been going so far. I mean, how do you feel about the Metasource raffle? We did a poll to see if people would be interested in that, and it was very overwhelmingly positive. I think we had almost no responses that people said, I don't like that. It was either, yes, absolutely do it, or there were a couple of responses that were like, well, do it if you want to. I probably am not interested in raffles personally. So that was basically the only feedback that we got on that. It was very, very overwhelmingly positive. So, but obviously when we do a poll, not literally everybody gets a chance to weigh in. Maybe you missed the poll, or you just weren't on Discord that day, something like that. We'd be happy to hear about feedback on that. We're really looking forward to hearing your feedback from the player survey that Devi Metal has linked. If you want to give us a preview of what you have to say here, we're interested. Stuff like that. Okay, a good question from Dev Istanbul. A question about new website. It's still a work in progress. It's getting much closer. We have it built in the dev environment, so we are able to test it already. It still has some bugs and different things that are not quite working all the way. We're hopeful that it will be ready to go by Friday, but we have given ourselves, the reason we pushed the Explorers Guild event back a week is so that we have all of next week to make sure that the new website is polished and looking as good as it possibly can. So if on Friday we get to Friday and we feel like there's just too many bugs, then we'll push it back till Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week. We've given that cushion already, but it is doing really well. We are still hopeful that it will be ready this Friday, so in 2 days. Very hopeful. But we don't want to push you guys into a new website that isn't working right. So we're not gonna push it on Friday if it isn't ready to go.
Yeah, exactly what Josh said. Let's see. Christopher A. Taylor's asking, can my lady's hero's boobs and booty be enlarged? Well, her booty's kind of in the back. I'm not sure you can really see her booty. But in terms of like her cleavage, that's going to be dependent on the how much you could. You won't be able to enlarge, but maybe something might be more revealing than another thing. That wasn't quite a priority when we were building out those particular heroes. You can change things like their hair and stuff. We do have a head slot, and the head will sometimes control things like makeup or hair, and you'll be able to select between those. See, Pilushi says, how about a promo? Not sure what you mean. We have go buy some raffle tickets. There's one dropping in a couple hours. Go on the Discord. There's Metasource raffle tickets there you can buy with Metasource. Top Tendy says, what makes you guys so committed to this project? Oh, that's a good question. I like that one. What makes me so committed is that I have gone the last 15, 20 years waiting for someone to let me play something like World of Warcraft and be able to turn my playtime into value. Like, I know you can use digital systems to capture my playtime as value. And I was waiting, and I was waiting, and I was waiting for someone to do it well. I'm familiar with the other games that existed, like Second Life, Project Entropia, that were trying to do that. I didn't like those games. They weren't for me. Project Entropia was just too niche, too hardcore, wasn't accessible enough. And Second Life was Second Life was too much of what I sometimes call like an orgy simulator. It was too much about like, it wasn't about like, going out and fighting monsters and like, building castles and stuff like that. It wasn't like a fantasy game. I just didn't necessarily need just a fantasy game. Sci-fi game would have been fine, but as long as it was good. So I just waited and waited and waited, and nobody ever built one. And I sometimes feel like it's a massive missed opportunity that could have been done 10 years ago or more, and just hasn't been. Just nobody's done it. And a lot of it is because the existing game companies are very happy with their current models. They make all the money. They don't have to take any extra risk in doing something new. And so I feel really driven by this. I feel really driven by innovating in something that hasn't been innovated in almost like 10 or 15 years. And like I was mentioning Elon Musk earlier, it's probably the same reason Elon Musk built SpaceX. It's because he was looking at the space programs here in America, and he's like, oh, so now we send American astronauts to Russia in order to get into space because the American space program it doesn't do it anymore. It's just like, and it's injustice. It's something that is missing. Like someone has to step in and make it happen. So that's what drives me to make it happen, because I've waited for almost 15, 20 years for someone to make it happen, and they haven't. And I'm just like fed up with it. I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. I'll step up to the plate, because apparently no one else is willing to do this in a way that I think is the right way to do it, and the way to make it done. How about you, Josh?
No, I think that's a really a good answer, and I do agree with you. Even on the Elon Musk comparison, there, I'm sure that's his exact same motivation. Is he probably looked at the situation and was like, why has this not been improved? Like, what the heck is going on? I mean, and you think about, the biggest problem with space travel is it got stagnant for 40, 50 years. And, every time we fired up a rocket, the booster was a one-time use, and it had to be thrown away. It was scrap afterwards. And, for some strange reason, we were content with that being the case for 60 plus years. And, it's like, come on, we haven't had any technological advances in 60 years. We can't make this better. Like, what are you even doing? And he said, this is an obvious fix. And here we are, the video game industry now. I mean, yeah, graphics are getting better. The computer cores that the consoles and PCs have are stronger. And so they can render crisper images and things like that. If you're old school like me, graphics don't even matter. They've never mattered to me. I mean, some of my favorite games are on the original, Nintendo, Super Nintendo consoles. They looked like crap, but they had amazing story, and they were innovating back then. But these days, story is bland, and player value is not considered at all. It's stagnation. It's the same thing. It's maybe not 60 years worth, but it is 30 years worth, and it's still unacceptable. Ready Player One, when that book was written, obviously a lot of the blockchain gaming is based on that vision. We can't deny that inspires us in some form. And that book is old. It's not a recent book. It's been out for a long time. And so the idea has been there that players' time and efforts should be valued. And yet nobody wants to do it. So here we are going to make that happen, which I do think segues into top attendees' question about, is there more to the long-term vision? There is so much more to the long-term vision. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much and be talking about the super long-term stuff. Right now, our focus is making Castles, the NFT game, the very best game it can possibly be on the Wax blockchain. That is our focus. In the future, as technology develops, as we develop as a team, and we bring on more people, and we do better and better things. We absolutely will continue growing. We will not get stagnant like the video game industry. We will keep pushing to new heights in blockchain and gaming, and it's going to blow everybody away.
Yeah, I second to all of that. And yeah, we do have really awesome ideas for the long term. But we just had a meeting on Friday where I was just telling everybody that our number one priority for this year is the Castles brand and building Castles, the NFT game, and making it the best blockchain game there is. And a lot of what we do there is just looking at each other and be like, well, so what's going to be the most fun? Like, we know there are some limitations with, like, say, the Wax blockchain, where you click a button, it sends a transaction through, and then you either succeed or fail, or it gives you a token or it doesn't. And those systems are, on the most side, fairly simple. But how do we look at that in a way that's fun? So if you look at the dungeoning, with the way that you can customize your heroes and make monster packs, and then choose what heroes are fighting what monsters, and because there are restrictions, and how that is going to impact the market, is where a lot of the fun comes in. Is looking at how we build those systems, which to someone else might seem like they wouldn't know how to make it fun. But we're like, we've been gamers our whole life. We know how to make something very simple and make it fun, the same way that, back in the day, when they didn't have video games, all you had was like a rock or some chalk, and you had to do a skip game or something. You had to be inventive. You had to be like, do the hopscotch thing. It was like, there's a game. We just made a game, a hopscotch. It's got numbers, but it keeps us entertained. So we're kind of doing the same thing, where we're focused on using these simple mechanics that exist for us, and making it fun, and making these game loops fun. And so we're pretty much focused on that. There's some really cool stuff in the future, but we'll probably be ready to talk more about that over the coming months. We just don't want to kind of overload you guys with like everything we're working on, and kind of keep everybody focused on the immediate things that are coming up really soon, like the Explorers Guild in 2 weeks, and the land pack crafting that is coming a week after that. And then there are going to be more raffle events. There's going to be reward events for what we call the land rush, where people who are crafting the land packs will basically get a chance to win even more rewards. So, it's really just going to be raining land over the next, couple of months here. And it's all about racing to get those castles before they start to become very scarce. As we start to release these systems, I want to make sure that everybody doesn't lose track of the fact that eventually there's going to be a soft cap on castles. Eventually, castles is going to be much harder to get in terms of assets and resources it takes to get a castle. I think the soft cap is probably going to really start hitting a little hard, like around 5,000 castles or something like that. But once we got 5,000 castles, people are going to be like, oh, it's actually significantly harder to get a castle now. I'm not even sure if I want to make a castle because it's gotten so hard. And so then we're going to have that soft cap of like 5,000 castles. But until we get there, it's going to be raining lands to try to get those castles, and that's what you're in a race for. And then probably by the time we're starting to see the caps for land start to come in, we'll have dungeoning up and running, and people are going to be having make a lot of choices. It's like, hey, I can only spend so many resources to focus on like some part of the game, monster crafting, a spellbinder hero, or I can only focus on a thief hero or something. You're going to have to start to make some choices in terms of what you're building, and we think that's where a lot of fun's going to come in. So there are probably some cool questions that I missed.
A lot of good comments.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't realize he had actually asked WoW style game and long-term vision. The answer is yes. We do talk about an actual 3D playable game, but again, it's too early to even be talking about that. Like, no one is working on that at this moment. I sometimes jump into a design document, I throw some ideas down, but it's not beyond that. Nobody's been hired to work on that team yet. All right.
I like the what's the favorite NES game? There you go. That's the one. So on the original NES console, this is maybe a little vanilla of me, but I really, really loved some of the original Mario. Just a little platforming through those ridiculous levels and stepping on turtles and Goombas and all that. That was when it was just the original Nintendo. That was kind of my jam. I was pretty young, so anything more difficult than that probably would have been outside of the scope of my ability. When it got to Super Nintendo, I was getting a little older, and that's when I got into RPGs like old school Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy VI. If you're in the US, it released as Final Fantasy III. That's probably my favorite game all time, like full stop. Chrono Trigger, that was absolutely stupid, awesome game. Just completely ridiculous and so far ahead of its time in story. I mean, as far as story is concerned, it's pretty hard to beat that one. How convoluted and ridiculous that story became, and the different things that you could do, manipulating time, grabbing something in the future and taking it to the past and leaving it somewhere, then going back to the future to see how it has changed over a certain amount of time. For a Super Nintendo game, that's amazing. Like, it was really awesome. So, there were a lot of really fun games back then that they were changing the genres so fast. Like, every game would push the envelope so much. So those were kind of my favorites back in those old console days. I did play, I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh, Nintendo is not old school. Atari and all that is old school. That I did play that a little bit, but it was really before my time. So sorry. I didn't play that very much. I played a little bit original Nintendo, but really I didn't hit my stride on video games until Super Nintendo was really, I don't even want to know how many hours I sat in front of a really crappy old TV with horrible video quality, with my Super Nintendo hooked up to the coaxial cable or having to run it through the VCR. People probably remember, if you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about, having to get your console through the VCR into the TV. And that was my jam back then. So those were good times.
For me, it was Rampage. I actually grew up kind of more lower income than I like to say I grew up kind of lower to middle class income. It was mostly lower income. So growing up with a single mom, living in trailers and small apartments. But so I didn't really have many games. All my other friends had the games. I had some friends who'd have a bunch of games, and I was a kid who was like, oh, let's go over to the friend's house who has all the video games. I was that kid because I didn't have any at home because we were poor. And so, I was able to convince my dad once to get me Rampage, and my eyes just like bugged out of my head. Heck, my eyes bugged out of my head when he bought the Nintendo, right? And I just remember like that was just so cool. And what I love about these days is you have a lot of options for games. Where back then there were way less options for games. Like at home, like there wasn't anything to play. I had like Super Mario Brothers, I had Duck Hunt, and then after a year or two, I finally had Rampage. And that was all I had at home. So I got, I guess. Maybe that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge Mario fan now. It's just I played the heck out of it when I was young. And I was like, okay, that's enough platforming for me. But yeah, that's a fun question.
Yeah, I messed up with my son. When he was about 4 years old, I dusted off the old Super Nintendo and I got out the Super Mario All-Stars game. If you remember that one, it was a collection of all the original Nintendo Marios in one cartridge for the Super Nintendo. So it had the original and the second one, third one. I think it had like 4 games, something like that. And when he was about 4, I dusted that off and set him in front of it, and he was awful. Of course, because platforming is tough. He's used to fiddling around with phone games with touchscreen, but now he is an absolute Mario super fan, more than I ever was as a kid. So it's been a few years. He's almost 9 now, and he is absolutely anything Mario related is his favorite thing in the world. So it is interesting seeing how other generations are being brought up and introduced into the older games and seeing how they react. In his case, he loves Mario. I don't know. It's interesting. I guess I'm doomed to buying the newest Mario games for the rest of my life for my son.
That's funny. I have a niece who is just in love with Mario. She had like a Mario party for her like 7th birthday or something like that. But I'm just kind of surprised how much she's got that on the Switch, and she's just like finding all the moons or something.
All the new Mario games. If you play any of the new Mario games, they are much more forgiving and a lot easier than the games we played. The Super Nintendo, it was brutal. I mean, you'd die and go back, and it was so easy to mess up, and there were difficult jumps to make, and just floods of Koopas. I think that's what the turtles are called. It just all kinds of stuff. It was tough back then. The games these days they're pretty easy. You can get hit quite a few times before you actually have to restart a level, stuff like that.
Yeah, so Crypto AI's question here, he says, will there be background music and sound effects when we equip heroes, go to dungeons, etc.? No, not inside the NFT game. And the reason is because I just never like sound effects in my browser, because I'm usually like listening to music if I'm working. And I just find them distracting. I don't like sound effects from other like NFT games and things. So my vote is for no on the music and background effects.
I would say it's the sort of thing, we can always mute browsers if the community is really divided over it. If a vast majority of people say, hey, we want a little background tune, then that might be something that we're open to doing. But in a lot of cases, I find people tend to enjoy to listen to their preference of music while they're doing whatever they're doing, or they've got, if you've got 2 monitors and you've got, your Netflix on the other screen and you're watching a show while you're doing your blockchain gaming and stuff like that. I think the majority of players, if we put in some background music, the majority of people are just going to mute it anyways. So I think I tend to agree with Robert a little bit here, that, it probably isn't something that we're going to do. It's not super high on the priority list, let's put it that way. But if the vast majority of the community feels very differently, then, we can revisit it. But, you guys can weigh in on that.
My other problem with it is that the blockchain transactions are not really super responsive. So it's like if you were to click on, say, open a treasure chest, when does that sound trigger? Is it like when you click the button, does it like make a jingle sound? Because it might take a couple seconds, or you might even have to just refresh the page to see what your treasure was. So there's kind of like a cognitive disconnect for me inside of the responsiveness of the game with the blockchain. So I would rather just avoid the disconnect and just like have it be purely a browser experience rather than try to merge, delayed blockchain times with the game experience, and it just doesn't work. Top Tendy says, how did you and Josh meet? Josh was one of the first people to enter our Discord, actually, almost two and a half years ago, was it now? But I basically put up
a long time.
Yeah, but basically I was like, well, I need to just get this business started, and I need to find customers. I want to do a Kickstarter or a crowdfund. And I was like, so I just need to get people to find me. I need to put up advertisements. And Josh was one of those first people who found me through a Facebook ad and joined the Discord along with Night Skies. He was also, I think, Night Sky might have been day one, I think, and Josh was pretty close too, I think. So that was it. Same thing, Devi Metal. Devi Metal's been a long time community member. So we have hired quite a bit from our community. So that's been a lot of fun to work with people who have the same vision that I have.
Yeah, it is really interesting. We those were much quieter days in Discord back then. But one of the things that I remember distinctly as interesting as I remember seeing the Facebook ad and being skeptical, of blockchain gaming. Blockchain gaming was not a thing when we first started. I mean, it really wasn't. Cryptocurrency was, but and NFTs existed. Sure, they weren't super widespread yet, but they definitely existed. But blockchain gaming was almost non-existent. I mean, if there were any, I certainly hadn't heard of it. So when I first joined, I was like, this is really fascinating. But I was super skeptical, but why? There's no way. And the thing that's distinct in my mind is I came in very skeptical with lots of questions. This is a crazy idea. There's no way this stuff could work. But what was interesting to me and that I remember so much is I came in with all these questions. Maybe you might even consider that I came in kind of as a fudder, right? That's the big term these days, fear, uncertainty, doubt. I came in with those ideas, those thoughts. And the person that I got to talk to right away was there you go. It's backwards because the camera. I got to talk to Robert, and he answered the questions himself. And it wasn't. I was shocked. I was like, oh, well, but you're the guy. This is your company, right? Why are you wasting time talking to me and answering my questions? And that's kind of the thing that we have kept up even as we've grown now. That's the thing that we cling to. When a new person comes in, we don't ban them because they come in skeptical. We talk to them ourselves, no problem. We don't see ourselves as corporate types who are above interacting with the community. And that started from day one. Robert set the tone on that. And we're going to continue being that way. And I do think that is a big thing that sets us apart, is that tone and the fact that we're willing to hear people's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And we don't answer it with a swift muting followed by a swift ban. We say, come in and tell us why you have fear or uncertainty or doubt or all of the above. And we'd like to hear your opinion. And, maybe we don't agree with it. And maybe we don't even come to an agreement. But as long as you're a person who is not attacking people, and as long as you're not being overly negative for the sake of bringing people down intentionally, because we do occasionally get people come in who literally have no interest in actually a civil discourse. They just want to attack. But that's few and far between. Most people, they come in and they're skeptical because they don't understand, or because they just have a very different opinion on how blockchain gaming should work. That's okay. We're not going to ban you for that.
Yeah, well, we've only banned 2 people so far, and we think both of them are probably not entirely well, and either need to take care of themselves or something. But I think that's also testament to our moderators as well, who are great listeners and communicate with the community. You guys are awesome, because Josh and I can't possibly, talk to everybody about everything, especially some days are worse than others. Some days there have been a couple of days, over the last couple of months where I'm just like, I can't even look at Discord right now, just because I got to sort out the business stuff first. So I got so much going on up here that I just can't really look at it today because I got so much to do. That's not often, but those days do happen. So it's great to have the support of our community members as well during that. Crypto, I was saying that he's just trying to come up with questions for me with the sound effect stuff. The other thing, it just takes up time and energy for us to deal with, and in terms of priorities, sound experience would be so far at the bottom that we wouldn't get to it until later this year. Like it would be
Right.
like such a low priority in terms of everything else we need to do. Here's this question: can you show the original raffle list, the one with the entire pool, 2,700 contestants?
Yes, technically,
He says yes.
I can. Sure.
Christopher says, you banned me. I'm well. Yeah, I thought that name looked familiar. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that the gentleman who we banned from the chat? Crypto AI says, wasting your time talking this makes up all the difference. Used to view wax games mostly as a pump and dump games. Castles, the game changed my mind about the chain. Yeah, I feel you. I still feel like, almost every game on wax is like a pump and dump game. There are very few exceptions. And kind of Josh and our policy lately has been just to protect our vision and our integrity in terms of what we're building. So we spend a lot of our time just talking about building the game, how we're going to build the game, and we pay a lot less attention now to other blockchain games and what they're doing. And I still want to do some more research on some of the other big games that are out there, like Sandbox and Big Time and stuff like that. But I found that, I think intrinsically our vision for what blockchain gaming should be is just way more powerful than anything else that pretty much anybody is already doing. When we first got started into this, I was really like addicted to in looking into other games because I wanted to see what other blockchain games were doing, and I was addicted to learning about Gala games, Sandbox, like everything. I was just trying to learn as much as I could about all the games, the Wax games, Nova Rally. I wanted to know what they were thinking, how they were doing things. Now that we've kind of had this major experiential period of things that work and don't work, like right now we think the castles work really well because castles give you basically a royal seal. It's consumable. We sell them for $5. So it's kind of like getting $5, put in your pocket every day with the royal seal for every castle that you own. And we think that this has actually made the game assets fairly stable, a lot more stable than most other games. And, it had an up period and it had a down period, but we think that basically that $5 guaranteed game value for you every day makes a major difference. And so as we continue to focus on things that we know work, I feel like we're kind of now in a period where it's like we know better than everybody else does. That might sound kind of, what's the word, arrogant, but I mean, I've seen these other people try to make games, and I'm kind of like, okay, I had a period of time where I'm like, I have to learn as much from everybody else as I can, and just like try to absorb all that information and be like, what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? And now I'm like, okay, I had that period, and I feel like it's very clear to me now what is being done right and what is being done wrong. So all we have to do is continue to revise those. And we think we've probably made mistakes in the build and run game as well. We think that maybe we let the lumberjacks get crafted for a little cheaper than we probably should have. And people have been telling us that the recharge cost was too high too. But we think it was really the fact that we were giving away the lumberjacks for so cheaply, but we wanted to get as many players in the game as possible. So it was give and take. The give was that we were able to get a lot of people into the crafting events at a fairly, cheap price. Compared to now in Metasource. But anyways, this is just kind of my internal conversation that never ends. It's constantly just never-ending conversation. I'm sure many of you guys have a very similar conversation about the value of the NFT gaming assets. Positive, creepy or creepy. I think it's either crappy or creepy. How does he want us to say this? CR24PY. Anyways, positive people attract positive people, and you guys set apart from every game. Yeah, and we're not just about positivity as well. We're really about performance. Sometimes my thinking is that, we want to work hard so that you don't have to one day. That one day you can have your dream job, creating potion shops or adventuring with heroes. And that is basically how you create value for the world is you know, and we know it's possible because we look at something like the financial industry, and it's huge. It has tons of employees, and we're kind of like, well, why can't we just translocate something like the financial industry, and instead of having everybody be, you know, be bankers or something, we have everybody be gamers, and they're providing value to some way. And maybe it pays your rent, maybe it doesn't. You know, our gaming assets are not investments, but you know, maybe one day we'll be able to talk about maybe some of our assets will be, and they'll be, you know, SEC approved and FDIC insured and stuff like that. But it's all kind of stuff in the future, always thinking ahead. Corey Sancho says, hey, Robert, has the job token from the original idea been scrapped, or is it still something Metasource Games wants to implement down the line? Yeah, actually, we talked about the job token. We're actually renaming it something else, but we still want to do it. But in this particular climate, we think now is not the right time for it because of the recession. And I'm pretty sure we're in a recession now. Just everyone's calling it like there probably is a recession, but we're not fully agreed upon yet recession. There was just too much money printed, and you know, there's essentially there's an imbalance of goods and services right now, and an imbalance of an agreed price for those goods and services, and that's probably going to lead to recession. But you know, it's not financial advice. What I think I see here, my opinion. And but going back to the job token you're asking about, we just think now is not the right time for it. Although kind of the whole point of our company is to create the environment for that to arise, and for to have the timing for that arise out of the work that we do. So you know, when we build a Castles 3D game, the whole point of building that game is that one day we'll create the job token, and we'll allow you to use that job token inside the game to play and build up your value. But one of the real things that we're building up right now is trust. Trust in our gaming systems, trust in our understanding of economics. Because, you know, something we were seeing with like Gala Games, you know, Gala Games has been around for a while. They're, you know, they are one of the arguably the biggest companies in this NFT gaming blockchain space. And when they first started, I don't like their economy really. I like their mission, which is, you know, very similar to ours, player ownership. But I think their economy is total crap. Like they haven't thought about their economy at all. And I had other users tell us that they were thinking of that they were hiring economists to help them figure out their games and stuff like that. And I'm like, just because you have a degree in economy doesn't mean that you'll be able to figure out how to properly capture and distribute value inside of a player ownership system, because it's totally different. It's completely different. It's almost, you know, it's part of the science, and it's part, you know, theory proving. But if you look at it in reality, like what kind of proof do you have that someone knows how to make a virtual economy, especially a player ownership based economy? What proof is there? How many people have been able to do that? Maybe the people who built Project Entropia, but you know, I mean, that game never really took off. I think it, you know, it survived. It made income. You know, they were successful in the fact that they never really died. Same thing with Second Life. You know, they were never able to hit the mass market. So they just kind of survived and plodded along. But in terms of what we're building, we're talking about not just plodding along. We're talking about becoming the next Google, the next Amazon, like the next unstoppable video game company. And so when you're trying to hire someone to help you build those kind of systems, it's like, well, where's the proof? Where do you get those people? Well, you can go to the Project Entropia guys, but again, they never really, you know, made it to the next level. You go to the Second Life people, but same thing. They never really quite, you know, went above. And I think part of this, their understanding of the economy was just stupid. If you look at Project Entropia, you know, they tried to just basically turn the game into a giant slot machine. Like every time you go kill a monster or something, you had a chance to get some loot. And or if you did a craft, you had a chance to basically get some value. You had a chance to get some value. And in the end, I just don't think that economy worked in itself. And so So, if you want to find someone to help you build a virtual economy built around player ownership, where do you go? So part of building the castles, the NFT game, is to get that trust, is to prove that we know what we're doing when it comes to virtual economies, and not just because we say so, but because the strength of our economy, the strength of the player base, and that people are playing our game, they own their digital assets, they're having fun, which is one of the reasons we open up a testimonial now, because we've been around for a while, and and we're pretty sure we've earned the trust of a lot of the gamers, and it's time to start putting that into ink so that we can put it into our marketing materials and tell people, hey, Castles has the best economy in blockchain gaming, period. Like, there you go. That's a testimonial. How do we know? It's because, that's one of our gamers, and we've been doing this now for, a year or so. And, kind of give or take different systems, Metasource games cards came first. Metasource cards came first. But, that's really what this leg of the race is all about. It's all about building player trust, getting evidence, and so that we go to major investors to invest tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars into our company to build those game systems, that they're like, oh, yeah, we can trust these guys because they already did it. The players love them. Like, they're basically already doing, what they need to in order to make this vision work and do the job token and make more 3D games and stuff like that. So that's kind of really what this whole section of our race and our our work is all about, is building castles and make it strong, make it a very strong brand, a strong game, and prove to everybody that we know what the hell we're doing. Because we're in this period of time where Josh and I don't have Silicon Valley backgrounds. I can't go to someone and an investor and be like, yeah, so I've been in Silicon Valley. I've worked at Google for like 5 years, because I haven't worked at Google. So they look at me, they're like, so he hasn't worked at Google, he hasn't worked at Amazon, he hasn't worked at Bethesda or any major video game company. It's like, so who is this guy? And now with Castles, we know, well, this is who we are. This is what we've done. And this is why they should back us. And so that's where a lot of our really working capital over the next couple of years is probably going to come from, is actually venture capital, because they'll be the ones to help us scale up 10x from where our current revenue is, or 100x where our current revenue is. Whew. Long story short, I like that question though. It wasn't really a question, was it? It was I feel like it was, yeah, it was Corey Sancho's. I had the wrong thing up there for a while. This was Corey Sancho's question. But yes, job token is coming. Coxtron Tech says Castles has the best economy model nowadays in games, I think. Thank you. We think so too. And we think we can do better too. As the Castles economy grows, we think the stronger it's going to get. We think the more value people are going to see in all the gaming systems, the dungeoning. So we think that the Castles economy is only going to continue to get stronger. And, when we release, games in the future, like a 3D Castles game, we think that's going to have like one of the best economies like you've ever seen inside of, player ownership gaming. It'll be amazing. Hawkman says Jojo is always so intense in the second screen. I don't know, he's playing League of Legends or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't think he plays League, but
no,
John
I'm working on
late to the party. Hi guys, good to see you, John.
Somebody, I don't even remember who it was. Was it in Discord or somebody in here asked? Oh yeah. Just a few minutes ago, CR24 Pi, whatever, however we were supposed to say this.
Keep your crappy. I don't know.
I don't know, but he asked about the original Raffle list. So anybody who has that list still pulls up knows what I've been doing this whole time. Is my perfectionist side says, okay, people are not satisfied with just seeing the final result. Now I have to create a list that gives you the full data and full transparency. So now you have that list. So if you pull the Raffle ticket document back up, you'll see that I've included a lot of information, and so now you can see all of it and understand it all. And then there's even more. If you look at column C, that's my export list for different things, and just for I'm working away. Sorry, Even while streaming, I'm working.
He's a good multitasker, guys. John says, like the party. Yeah, we think you won quite a number of packs. I think you might have won the number one pack actually in the game, John. So you might want to go look at the prize list there. Baby Well says, is there any news updates on Metasource cards having any more use than earning MSource? There's none planned. We're kind of full up in terms of features and that our team can handle right now for Castles. So no, but we're happy with how the Metasource cards worked out. You get to collect those, and there's going to be a Metasource card drop tomorrow. Actually, we should have promoted that at the beginning of the stream. I forgot, but yeah, there are new cards dropping. So we've said that in order to buy the first round, you'll have to own a Metasource card. I think they're really super cheap right now on the market. And then after a while, we'll just open it up to everybody. It's probably not going to be long, like maybe 15 minutes or something, however Josh wants to do it. Is there a special prize for first? I think there was. There was like what was it? Another pack of some kind?
I don't. Yeah.
It's up to him. I'll put the responsibility on Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. Something. I'll send it to you. I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
All right.
I think it's your wallet. You can confirm it for me. But whoever's wallet it is, if it isn't yours, then they'll be getting it.
It's still going to the official winner.
Yeah, exactly. It'll go to the right person. But I do think it's Kuznets.
Chris Ray Taylor says, can you please give us any more info hints on the exchange for the lumberjacks coming up? Well, we want to make sure that when we allow you to burn those lumberjacks for some assets, game assets, that it's a fair value. But that value might change between now and when we're ready to do it. But it's probably going to happen just after the Explorers Guild ends. Once the Explorers Guild ends and the 2 weeks for that event is up and no more Explorers Guild bounties can be crafted, that's probably when we're going to officially announce the lumberjack crafting event and what you can exchange your lumberjacks for. And we might do it in tiers, like you can only burn, globally only 500 can be burned for X amount of time or something. And we might kind of do it step by step until we have just as many lumberjacks burned as we want to see burned.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want we do not want the rewards from burning the lumberjacks to impact the limited time crafting event itself. Mm-hmm. That's why we're waiting for that to end. So if that gives you a bit of an insight into what it will be, it should, because that's a pretty good hint, and we've said it all along. So you can extrapolate from that what you will, but we just want to make sure that isn't going to mess with the event. So once the event is over, it will be very shortly after that event ends that we will set up that blend, that reward blend, and it is of course optional. If you would prefer to hold all your uncharged lumberjacks, you'll have every luxury, every choice. It's always your choice, always. That's blockchain, right? But if you have a bunch of them and you're like, there's no chance that I'm ever going to use all of these, there will be opportunities to burn them down.
John says he had the worst luck. In fact, his last 20 wonders, he only got 1 high and 19 low. I feel your pain.
Ouch.
I had very close to that kind of luck with some of my wonders. Like I had a point where I was way over the average in terms of luck, and then it just went down from there. Then I was way above average, and then I crafted a bunch more, and then I went way under the average, and I was like that's not how that was supposed to go. But that's an RNG. I'm with it, John. That really sucks. I'm I make the game. Is this really fair?
My RNG was okay. I was really close to average. Really, really close. At first, it was great. My first 2 packs, it was 2 high bounties in a row, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna kill this event. But yeah, no, my average, I was 65-35 average. So very, very close to exact average. So just is what it is.
Dumbledore says, wasn't the price of all expenses paid night in the dungeon? You got to talk to Josh about that. That he runs that show.
No, in first place, I sent first place a King's Vault pack. Much cooler than a night in the dungeon, a night with the King's Vault. And there are 3 more of them in the raffle packs too, of course, but first place got a bonus. And I am 100% sure that it was Kriznitz because I pulled up his inventory and I know that that's his. So congratulations, John Kriznitz. You got first place. You got an extra pack.
That's a nice prize. But now we always have to give away a King's pack for number 1. Did we do that for the last one?
I don't remember. Right. It's been a couple of weeks.
We've set a standard remember.
Now everybody can hold us accountable to that. Remember, hey, last time you gave away, people are going to be like, now Josh has a bad memory. We'll tell him last time you gave away 10 King's Vaults. No, get out of here. I'll review the footage. I don't have a good memory, but I can review the footage. Congrats.
Baby Well says, can you clarify when the next event will begin? I thought it was the 24th, but I heard they mentioned there was a change. Yeah, it was the 24th, but we have the website launching. So it's been moved back to June 2nd because we just need more time to make everything happen, basically. We had to move it back because we were trying to build for 2 websites at one time, plus the mobile version for almost like 4 websites at once. So we had to be like, hey, just focus on the new website instead of like doing basically 4 versions of the website. Just focus on 2, which is the new site and the mobile version for the new site. And because it was killing them to try to do both those things and get the releases all out, it just wasn't going to work. Crypto AI says, any visual alpha leaks live? I would love to show you guys like a visual of the new website, but kind of the problem is that StreamYard doesn't allow us to crop things out. I don't want to give out the URL for the development site. So because we're using StreamYard, it's really not safe for me to share the new website. But it looks pretty cool. There's still things we want to change and update and some things to fix. We think it'll probably be out by Friday, maybe. I think maybe it'll actually be Monday, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. As we said earlier, we're not going to push it live if there are too many bugs. If it's too quirky and there are a couple of things that are just not quite working right. I mean, there will be overlap. So when we do release it, the old website won't go away immediately. So if there is a showstopper that gets released on something that we miss somehow, because it happens, you will for at least for a while be able to use the old site. So there won't be any downtime in any of the game functions for sure. But at the same time, we don't want to use that as a justification for releasing a really buggy product. So we're not going to do that either.
Let's see. Wayne Zier says, any recent additions to your programmers? Yes and no. Our Apex NFT team did have actually 2 people quit on them, so they had to be replaced. And yeah, we think it's probably for the better, and it's probably one of the reasons that we had to move things back was because they just had to cycle through the talent. It happens. And but I mean, otherwise, mostly like one of our smart contract programmers still the same. But they were front-end programmers, but still, like, when you get talent reset like that, it does have an impact on development. Eventually we do want to start hiring more programmers. We spoke about wanting to do a Castles 3D game, and our goal is to actually start the development of that in a couple of months. We're not sure yet when we do it. Really be when Josh and I think that we have the capacity to start to do it. Right now, we're still very focused on Castles, making sure everything gets right done on the NFT game. But on the Castles 3D game, which will also be a player ownership, game as well, We'd be able to trade your assets with other players, and probably have USDT or something in there as well, some kind of way to move fiat into the game if you choose, and out again. We're probably going to start to hire a team internally to do that. Plenty of questions for us, like where do we put the team? Josh wants to be in Montana. There's no way in hell I'm going to Montana. It is way too cold. Look at my window. It is beautiful out there. There's beautiful guys. I'm going to go for a nice little jog out there. I think it's still very cold where he is.
But the taxes are so friendly here. Very, very crypto friendly.
I'm going to make so much money that the taxes don't matter. So in terms of the business, it does. I mean, to be honest with you, when we do actually start to build a team, it might not be in California, because you're right that actually, I mean, all facetiousness aside, the taxes in California are pretty awful. It is really expensive to operate a tech business in California. So that's kind of just, a little too far ahead for us to consider, and we need to think about. And, I have a lease here for, through December. But it's stuff we got to talk about. But we probably will be an internal team doing the Castles 3D stuff. So it'll probably be in like Unreal Engine, and we'll be having an internal team doing that. Well, a big reason for having an internal team is that we want to set a standard for basically the way we work. And something that's been really difficult with having remote teams is we basically can't always be accountable for how people are doing their work outside of our immediate influence. So anyways, just stuff I think about all the time is the win and the hows. Interesting questions. People are saying that we should give them a Baron just for watching the stream. What do you think, Josh?
No.
Those lucky 26 people. They got so lucky. Suddenly now we're just going to have tons of like bots watching our stream.
I know. Right?
Suddenly there's like 10,000 people watching the stream. It's like, wow, look at that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Just as an update for everybody, a couple different people asking, because everybody wants their rewards. I have already started distributing the packs. So if you're on the front half of the list, you've already got them in your inventory. So I will just throw out the reminder, because we get this question every time. I guarantee we will get it 10 more times within the next 2 days. So I'm reminding everyone who's watching, and I will put it in Discord multiple times. These packs must be opened on Nifty blocks, and please don't burn them. Please do not burn the pack. If you're on Atomic Hub and you see the burn option, you think, oh, there's not an unpack option, so I must have to burn it. Please don't do that. You will not get your reward. And the way that these pools work, there's nothing we can do to help you if you burn it. So don't burn it. Go to Nifty Blocks. Go to Castles NFT Go, the collection page. Go to the pack section, and you will see your pack there. You can unpack it there. And piece of cake. We are almost all done. The first 300 packs have already been sent out, so just the last 92, and it's just waiting for the cooldown on minting. If you mint too many too quickly with the tool, it errors you out. So I just have to kind of wait about a minute between every 50 or so packs. And so that's it. We're just waiting. No big deal. You will have your packs very, very soon, if you don't already have them.
Yeah, Christmas was offering Florida's a good choice for taxes. I think a realistic choice might be for us is Texas, though, because Texas already has a growing tech industry and the taxes are better there. And all I know is also that's where Elon Musk is starting to build a bunch of his companies in Texas. So, I mean, the man must know something, right? But and it's also definitely at least usually warmer than say Montana is. Or
but the humidity, man, I don't know. You're a California
I'm Hawaiian.
boy.
I'm fine with humidity.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. If you humidity was no good for me. I did not.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in Dallas for 3 years, and I did not love that. But
Is it because of the beard? Does it get all like in the beard or something like that?
Oh yeah, sweat. You're just sweaty. You take any of my Texas, Louisiana people, they probably know.
Oh.
In the middle of summertime, like you go take a shower and you get out of the shower, and no amount of toweling yourself off will get you dry. It's pretty rough. But you can swim in your swimming pool in the middle of the night. So there's pluses and minuses.
Nice guy who lives in Texas says humidity is pretty real right now, gotta say.
Yep. Texas is reasonably, though, like you said, reasonably. Someplace like Austin is probably a fairly feasible idea if we were going to open an office there. There is already a pretty big tech industry in a city like Austin. So very possible.
So Christopher A. Taylor has a good question. He says, will the assets from Castles NFT be transferable into the new 3D game? There's a yes and no question here. The no question is like, you won't be able to like transfer a castle for castle into the 3D game. You won't be able to transfer like a lumberjack for lumberjack. It's not going to how it's going to work. The economy is going to be completely different. However, we do want to reward the Castles 3D game. The people who have been playing Castles NFT game with Castles 3D game assets. The way this will probably work is that we'll have some kind of point system, and every point of like Metasource, Rune Source, every castle, every baron, every carpenter that you have is, whoa, you got like a 101 Dalmatians over there. So, so how it will work is that basically for whatever assets you own inside of castles and like, probably also for Metasource games, you'll be getting points, and those points will equate into you being able to get like land and hero assets inside of the Castles 3D game. So so you'll get rewarded, but it won't be like a one-to-one conversion. It won't be like, a Luna hero will convert into a hero in Castles 3D game. The reason is just because the Castles 3D game is going to have a whole new kind of economy. It's not even going to be the same. It's really going to be more about that dream of like having a medieval fantasy game where you get to build your value up. It's economically, it's going to be very different from the way most games have been done, which is they're like, oh, well, we're going to sell like $1 million worth of lands and then let you guys figure it out. We kind of have a different model. We want you guys we're probably going to have more infinite assets and then allow you to build up into the rare stuff. So if you're going to play the game for like months or years, and then you would be able to start to get like the rare and mythic equipment just by going out into the world, get rare and mythic items that allow you to do all the rare and mythic stuff. But you'll be able to build up into it rather than having those things dumped on you. And so instead of having us like, drop like 1,000 dungeon tomes, it'll be different 3D in the Castles 3D game. It will be way more organic and natural the way that you build up value. And if you're familiar with the Gala Games Mirandus game, we want it to be kind of the inverse the way they've done things, where they basically sold a certain amount of land in scarcity. And my old fears with Mirandus game is that the landowners are going to basically price gouge all the people who want to own buildings and play the game, because they're the ones who hold the keys to the kingdom. I actually think I think Mirandus is going to be a mess in terms of economics. We think it's much better if you just try to replicate the real world, which is you give people like, the entire world to explore and give them, like a little plot of land they can go and pick up. But then, there's a finite amount that you can accomplish that there on your own without newer, better stuff. But anyways, I don't want to go too much into it because it's still kind of early. But yeah, the Castles 3D game that we plan to start development in probably towards the end of this year is going to have a very different economy, but it will still reward you, the people who have been playing Castles, the NFT game, and buying Metasource cards, and probably reward you based on amount of tokens you have too as well. So that will be counted. So I think we're ready to wrap it up now, right? It was really good. Good session. I think maybe I should open my my event packs on stream. What do you think? Before we wrap it up.
Ooh, streamer luck. Interesting.
Where's my?
He's gonna get all the bounties now.
Just share this screen.
Oh no, Inception. You got to do it on Nifty blocks.
I got to do it on FT. Oh, okay.
See, look, I told everybody the question was going to come up. Oh, you should remove the comment from the StreamYard screen too.
That's fair. It's highlighted.
There you go.
Now we're back in Inception again. You
All
just
the
wanted to
packs-
see the Inception again.
All the packs have been distributed, by the way. Oh, I see the castle's already been unpacked. Sorry, Rob, you can't get that one.
No, well, it's not worth it anymore. Okay. It's my packs.
How many did you get? We're gonna find out eventually.
I think I got like
I didn't
7.
count.
1, 2,
Oh,
3,
dang.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I got 11. Wow.
That's a lot. You did good.
Yeah, that's way more than I thought I got. I captured as many of those courthouses as I could.
Me too. Yeah.
I think you still kicked my butt. You still made more than I did. Farm. Burp, 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 burp.
Let's see what he can pull. I literally have no idea how many I pulled. I was not paying attention. I'm starting to see a trend.
Dude, like literally the last time we did this, all of the event packs I got, farm every single time almost. Gosh, man, we need to put more castles in
he says as he opens his packs, give me more.
Well, we still got a baron, we got bounties. Ooh, ranch. Ranch is better than a farm.
Hey, that's better.
I'll take a
3 times as
bounty.
good.
I mean, lower or high bounty, not going to be choosy.
I still have to
Baron.
fight. I still have to
Baron
fight
will do
Toy Store at some point for that number 1 Baron.
Oh yeah, he got that. That was really lucky pull there. He won that in the first event, raffle event we ever had.
Yes, of course he would. Of course. I'm still very jealous. I'm not bitter though. You can tell I'm not bitter. Hey, you've gotten a couple of ranches. I mean, that's
Ranch is worth 3 farms.
oh.
Well, getting a little bit of help for the race to more castles, though. I mean, maybe a pack, like a King's pack, Banker's pack. Then get to open another
ranch.
pack. Because the ranches and the farms, they like me. I thought maybe I'd get some good luck here, and everybody could, like, say it was rigged. Farm.
Right.
We got one more pack, guys.
The
One
number,
more
what is
pack.
that? 7? Was it 7? This is number 7. Lucky number 7. Oh, hey. Lucky number 7. Banker's pack.
Yeah. Literally.
And now you
Lucky
have to
number
open
7.
that one.
And now we do have to open that one. That was great. Wow. I thought I knew I was feeling a little bit lucky today. All right. Hot damn, guys. Let's open up this banker pack.
Packception.
Rigged. Better than nothing, right? I mean, it's like beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bunch of extra
ranches.
farms and ranches, so it's better than everything else.
Yeah. But I'm not going to complain. That was great. Getting a banker pack was pretty cool. That was worth it. How about you? Did you want to open your packs?
Let's see if I can find them. I have no idea how many I have. I was in the top. I think I had pack number 3 though, so that's pretty cool. Let's see here.
Smeek says, hey guys, it's Nickman from the server. How are you guys doing? Awesome. Thank you, Smeek. Smeek was one of our earliest, biggest supporters here at Blockchain Kingdoms. He is the Space Lord Master. He owns a ridiculous amount of the Space Opera cards for Metasource games, or for the Metasource cards. So thank you, Smeek. Doing very well. How are you doing? Professor Dumbledore says I would take that output for my Baron over the next 7 days. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad output there. Farms and a couple of ranches.
Okay. All right. Okay. You guys want to see me open mine? I got.
Oh wait, let me add your thing to the stream.
Let's see. I have 15. I got 15, so slightly more than you had.
You crafted more, so it makes sense.
Okay. Hey!
Oh my gosh!
I'm already kicking your butt.
Oh my gosh! It's almost like you can't do any worse than I do, unless
hacks. Come on,
unless
bounties.
You
go.
Don't get some at this point it's
okay.
Be very surprised. I think if we were to do this per Metasource per an hour, your odds are pretty good already.
Come on. Branch, okay. Village, farm, ranch, one of each. So the next one's a town, right? That's what I'm thinking. I can't get the castle, so a couple of cities will be okay.
Or still the bounties are left,
Whoa!
right? Oh my gosh! You cheater!
Number 3!
You cheater! Like he didn't already have enough bounties.
That helps my ratio too. That helps my ratio. I had gotten right towards the mean, so now I got a little bit more.
I guess I just should have crafted more packs, guys.
I can pull another bounty. Let's do 2. Okay, that's a farm.
Good for him. Smeek says, doing good. My internship ended early today, so I was able to get home to see the live stream. Nice.
Nice. Speaking of time, I think there's another ranch. The next Metasource raffle, if I remember the time correctly, if you're wanting to burn some Metasource and get some more raffle tickets, I think that starts here in 10 minutes. If I'm remembering the time right. I could be wrong.
Smeek says, will you still be live streaming for the 3rd raffle drop until it sells out?
Unlikely.
I'm not sure what he means. The live stream for the
Metasource raffle. It probably take 30 minutes or an hour at least before it sells out. So we probably won't go through the whole thing. We might still be streaming when it starts, depending on how it goes, or we might finish right before. But there's basically no chance. We got to go eat lunch and stuff like that too, So we're streaming through lunch here. I've gotten a lot of ranches, a lot, much more ranches than farms.
Unusual amount of ranches.
Yeah, way more ranches. I've only gotten 2 or 3 farms, but I've gotten 5 ranches at least. Village.
Another village. Jeebus, man. Are you sure it's not rigged? Because
rigged.
I think you need to be audited here.
Hacks. Come on. Stupid wax cloud wallet. Ranch. Look at this. Ranches.
Oh my gosh.
I am the ranch master. Ranch. Look at this. Man.
Kidding me.
We can play a drinking game and get completely hammered for how many ranches I'm pulling. Farm. Okay, 2 left. All right.
Even if
for
these
some.
last 2 are just like farms, you still
Okay.
made out like a bandit.
Okay, this is number 22, and then we'll do number 3 last. And what did we get from number 22? Haha, village!
Oh my
Village
gosh,
number 3.
guys! Like, if you're not envious at this point,
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Last one. Lucky number 3. Lucky number 3. Hey, minstrel pack.
That's ridiculously good luck.
All right.
That is ridiculously good luck.
I do have these 3 Kings packs from a long time ago. I still haven't opened. I'm holding on to them as my special friends, so I'm not gonna unpack those.
It's like, were all of yours, like, did you send yourself them first and they're all front loaded? Well, I don't know.
Cheeky little
they're
cheaters.
definitely randomized, but it's just like, your luck was suspiciously good, sir.
Come on, let's go for another village in my pack. Good. Oh, triple farm. Well, I had to regress to the mean. There we go. Well, that's still a ranch. That's still a ranch. So I can't complain.
All right. Well, Josh is going to go for a break for lunch. I'm going to have him investigated and
send the auditors.
Send in the auditors. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us in this Metasource through the Metasource episode number 7. It was a lot of fun giving away the packs, opening the packs, asking questions. Looking forward to the next time with you guys. Night Sky and I are going to be doing a stream of It Takes Two tomorrow here on the channel. And hopefully we can finish the game. I think Night Sky said we still have a ways to go, so maybe we won't be able to finish it tomorrow, but that'll be fun. So join us tomorrow for that. And we got plenty more work to do, so we'll get back to it. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe. Josh, any last words besides your lucky son of SOB?
Thank you guys.
Go on vacation to Hawaii now.
That's right. That's right. I got to go to Vegas. I'm catching a plane. So I'll see you guys next time. I got a plane to catch.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.